Got one up in here. We'll wait for a few more to come in. And I don't know who's in here. What's up, Nelson? You're the only one in here so far, so we'll wait for a few. What's weather like up there in North Carolina today? It was rainy, kind of warm. H Farmer, hello. Scott. I don't know if we made it 65, but it was probably about 60. Brett's here. Well, we're going to talk about what's going on at the border, if y'all want to. Hey, Grizz. What do y'all know about what's going on at the border? Got 7 up in here. 1 thumbs up. I've been listening to a little bit of it, but my wife's telling me there's fixing to be a civil war down in Texas. And nobody saying much about it. Oh, yeah. Yep, I agree. I mean, I have nothing against immigrants as long as they come over here legally. Some of my relatives years ago come over here from somewheres, and I've got some Native American blood in me too, so. But just letting people come in here, I hear there's a lot of Chinese coming over here, and they're actually soldiers. Have any of y'all heard anything about that? Everybody just talks at one time. Got 9, 3 thumbs up. Sucks at the border. You're welcome. I just hope they keep it down at the border and get it resolved. Let's go, Brandon. My wife's walking through. So nobody wants to talk about the border then. We might bring that up a little bit later. Been working in the shop all day. Probably 60 degrees. Raining off and on. Wind picked up this afternoon. Had a welding project. I don't know. Got a little bit of video. I was going to try to make a video out of the whole thing, but that just don't work good for me. Trying to work on something in film, you miss a lot of stuff, so we'll see what I've got, if I've got anything. There goes my daughter. Got 12, 6 thumbs up. Nobody saying much. My wife just said 27 states are back in Texas. That's more than half the states. Oh, really don't know. I think we tell everybody 90 mama cows. We don't ever count them. So you must be from North Carolina. Well, we kind of talked about it. I like Trump, but is he gonna get elected? Need to watch redacted. I don't know what that means. I just don't. I don't think they'll ever let Trump be president. I don't care if everybody votes for him. We talked about this last time. DeSantis has dropped out backing him. Don't know about, well, they could fix things if they let them. I mean, you know, anything's better than the idiot we got now. But how much better, I don't know. So is that St. Louis? Grizz, is that St. Louis you're from? We keep getting rain. I think we've probably got 4 or 5 inches this week on top of the snow last week, and they're still saying we're in a drought area. Our city water supply was low because it was so dry back last fall. So when it got cold last week, everything froze up, everybody's pipes busted, and we're low water again. And we're boiling, having to boil. I'm not. I'm drinking it. I don't care. I've drunk out of mud holes before, but they're asking people to boil their drinking water and what they cook with and everything else. Tastes fine to me. Z-Man, ain't heard nothing out of you in a while. So I wonder if the Rio Grande's low and they can just skip right across or what. We all over the place tonight. 22 in, 11 thumbs up. And everybody's talking at one time. Me too. I'm trying to grow my beard out. John Douglas from Murfreesboro. There was a John might have big John Deere man, but there was a John Deere field day in Murfreesboro Wednesday or Thursday one. I got invited to it, but had to feed cattle. Man, it was messy and cold, and I did go to a field day down in Alabama last year, and it was all the equipment was outside, so I left. Steve's here. We're talking about the border and other things. What's the next piece of equipment? Probably gonna go pick up one, or Dad is. I'm not. I'll go with them. Probably picking up a piece of used equipment this week or next. The last tube. I didn't get that, Nelson. No, we found Matt Griggs helped us find a grinder mixer over in Jackson, Tennessee. Well, I think it's a shit show. And it's not 8:06, it's 6:56. We kind of come to a standstill on it, just close to getting it done. Just gotta paint some bolts for the wheels. Ain't really been weather to paint. Craig's here. Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to do this tonight or not, so I didn't really tell anybody I was going to do it. Well, thanks, Lisa. Yes, this was about 2 years ago on the wheel. It started, it split in there, and it started cutting the, hello, Mike, started cutting the tube. So Dad went to, well, we didn't know it was cutting the tube. Dad took the wheel off to go get it fixed, and the the tire shop, send them to a welding shop that, hello, Michael Williams. Is that one of the Mike Williams I know? Sent it to a local welding shop and they didn't do a good job. So I think this is the second time we've had it ground down. I've got some wheat in the ground. I've got plans for corn and soybeans. That's about all we grow. We do have some ryegrass for hay this year. You ain't got to be quiet. You ain't got to be quiet at all. Somebody give me something to talk about. I won't talk about the border, but it's off and on that. So I'm just rambling. So yeah, 27 states, that's over half the country going down there. And so I don't know if that's National Guard or whatever. Like I said, I don't have the news. I've heard a little bit of it off and on, and my wife, she's keeping up on it with TikTok, and I think she's on the phone talking to her dad or somebody about it now. No, it's crap. The compressor is working good. I actually used it for the first time today. Okay, let me get back on. Well, there's two in my town. One of them's a good friend of mine. I can't see the picture, so. Like I said, it's fine if you want to come here the right way. Well, we're getting bombarded with rain. It's been up in the 60s last couple of days. We're getting bombarded with rain, so. But they say we're still in a drought. Don't make sense. Probably 14 inches of precipitation last week. Unless they get saying something stupid, let's not kick them out. I think we got a little too trigger happy last week, but so far, 13 minutes in almost, no trolls. And by the way, Steve, I am wearing the local Kubota dealer's hat. Now, Craig, where are you from? It's hard to keep up with everybody. When we bought the Krone Dismore, they gave me a hat, which they're a Kubota dealer and good friends of mine. I just yep, you told me Iowa. Dyersburg is about 3.5, 4 hours from me, I think. That's in West Tennessee. I'm in Southern Middle. Well, it's a cool hat, but I kind of wear what I want to. East coast of North Carolina. I got a cousin that lives out that way. She lives close. She's a civilian but works on the Army base, so I don't know where that's at. Have I test drove a new one? No, I've not. Actually, the big tractor Kubota has, the about 155 horsepower duals. They've got one there with a loader, but I can't afford to side on. I don't even need to sit down in it. Tell you the truth. I mean, I'd be perfect for pulling my planter or whatever and putting 8940 to some heavier stuff, but I don't see a brand new tractor coming anytime soon. Might be another tractor. Could be another tractor showing up any day. Old or newer. When I say new, in the 90s, maybe 2000s. Actually, we've been working on the RoGator today. A fender bracket got bent, and I took the fender off. It was actually a major ordeal, and we had to do a lot of cutting and welding, but about got it back together. I'm gonna try to get the piece painted back tomorrow, and trying to make a little video on it. But I need to get the guidance and stuff in there. I haven't even ordered that yet. But RoGator, besides a few leaky cylinders, I'll be ready to roll this year. Matter of fact, it's going to be pretty next week. Like I said, we may go after a grinder mixer on a bad day and got to make a trip to Kentucky, get a hay roller pickup. But we're going to work on the old, got a few things to do to the old sprayer to get rid of it. Some cleaning up and maybe painting the wheels and changing some filters. But we got to get rid of it and concentrate on RoGator. Well, Steve, what happened is my cousin's in the volunteer fire department, and he's one called, said they was going to shut the water off. Then he called and said they had shut the water off, and come find out they never did shut the water off. So I don't know where he got that at, but they're telling us conserve water. They've been saying that for months, but boiling water and whatnot. Like I said, I'm not doing it. It tastes fine. Got 29 in here, 12 thumbs up. Hello, Ron Fisher. I don't know if you're the Ron Fisher that's in Lawrence County. That's the thing. Y'all's names pops up, and I knows people them names, and ends up being somebody different. Actually, I have a spring here. Oh, I'm not getting a tractor. I'm just saying one day might be a tractor if it's an antique or something. Show up if we find a deal. I've actually got a spring here at this house, and on North Carolina people today, and it's never went dry. Actually, we got ahead of Second Creek. If you're going to look on a map, Second Creek travels through Alabama to the Tennessee River. Starts here on our property, but there was a lot of people without good wells and stuff. So back in the 80s, my dad and grandfather, they helped start the local volunteer fire department. So one of the projects they worked on was taking surveys, trying to get grants to get public city water, whatever you want to call it, in this part of the county. So to practice what they preach, hello, Tom. Practice what they preach. My grandpa signed up for city water, but the shop and everything is fed by the spring, and I drink it all the time out there. But I just kind of wonder how clean it is. From Georgia, got a Georgia here. Growing in Grace, is that a channel? That sounds like one. If it is, I'll try to sub when I get out. Ryan's here. It's going pretty good. We got rid of the snow and got a bunch of mud now. Got a mud farm. Sell y'all mud patties. I'll check you out and sub to you. Mid Georgia here. Tom, you're from Lewisburg Lewisburg, right? But you live somewhere else. My kids are fighting or they're playing something. Actually, my family come from Americus, Georgia. 3 months of snow. Fayetteville. How long have you been gone from Fayetteville, Tom? The reason why I ask is my dad's best friend growing up. He moved to Fayetteville, and everybody knows him. Dirt Farming Daddy, Northeast Alabama. Whereabouts Northeast Alabama? I don't know if y'all know where Americus, Georgia is, but that's where my family is from. And I went to a farm expo up here in Lawrenceburg a couple years ago, and several vendors was set up, and I get around to the guy, and he hands me a card, and it says Russell Thomas, and he's from Americus, Georgia. His name was Russell Thomas, like mine, but we don't know if we're related or not. All, all Alabama. Oh, okay. See what you're saying now. Okay, yeah. Lawrence wouldn't have been there whenever you was there. I'm 7 miles from Alabama. I don't know how far from Georgia. How far are you from Chattanooga? Farming Grace. I think Chattanooga is about 3 hours from here. Did you ever deliver to any Thomases? I know where Monteagle is. That's had that restaurant, something smokehouse. We stopped there one time, ate, and I think it burnt, and they rebuilt. But man, that's some good food. I had some barbecue and some fried green tomatoes. That was awesome. It's almost worth the drive to go over there and eat. See, I've got an Outback client that lives. He lives in Georgia, but he's right there on the line, and I think his actual where he does business with co-op stuff is in maybe Springfield, Tennessee. I'm gonna try to go that way. Jim Oliver Smokehouse, yes sir. It burnt, but they built right, rebuilt. It was a cool place. We've been in Chattanooga on vacation and come back through and stopped. And it's, if I remember right, it's a pretty big building. Have live music there. Adairsville, Georgia. I don't know where that's at. I'd like to go to Moultrie, but if I'm not mistaken, that is in the fall, right around harvest time, and that'd be hard for me to get off. 3 inches of mud on frost. Terry's here. And speaking of Moultrie, I am going to Louisville. Terry, he's going to Louisville. I'm gonna try to meet up with him. Terry's watched me for a pretty good while, so be nice to meet him. So yeah, the Louisville Farm Show. Last year's first year I went, I didn't get to see what I wanted to see, so this time the family's staying at home, and I'm gonna take my time. I'm going with a friend. Well, I'll be there. See, probably the mid morning, the 15th, and probably a good part of the day, the 16th. I doubt if I go the 17th, we'll probably come home 17th. 36 again so far. 19 thumbs up. No trolls yet. Don't claim any other towns near us. Well, that's. Yes, sir. Last year I wore Nike tennis shoes. Hardly ever wear tennis shoes. I bought a pair probably 5 or 6 years ago, and last year I wore them for some reason over my mom's house, and she said, "You get new shoes?" I said, "No." I said, "I've had them 5, 6 years." She said, "Well, they look brand new." I'll be there. We actually done it, like I said, I went with wife and kids. They got a little mad there at the first, so we done the whole show in 5 hours. I missed a lot of stuff, but we just trucked on by everything. Actually, the guy that's going with me this year was interested in a McHale hay roller, and he asked me to pick up some literature. And I stopped at McHale booth, asked for some literature. Guy from Ireland gave me a spiel, 15-minute spiel, and I didn't film anything at the show because everybody films that show, but he gave me a 15-minute spiel, and I was like, I should have got my cell phone out because that would have been a video in itself, him explaining that hay roller. But they thought I stayed there too long, so we just didn't look at anything after that. See you, Tom. What's up, Michael? Michael, you going to the farm show this year? And how far are you from the farm show? I've never been to Macon. I would is the what they call the big house, the Almond Brothers house where they all lived. Is it in Macon or close to Macon? I'd like to go to that, to the museum and the house. I've got a friend that went, had pictures on Facebook. I'm a big Almond Brothers fan. I would really like to go see that. And back 30 something years ago when I was in high school, probably 45 minutes, an hour from here, um, in Sheffield or Tuscumbia, Alabama, the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. I went when I was in high school 30 years ago, and um, I took the kids there a couple months ago. It ain't nothing. Nothing has changed since 30 years. Alabama's got a tour bus in there, and I think it's Webb Pierce's car with all the pistols and all that's in there. That was pretty cool. Spring fed, and it's not filled up yet. We were dry a couple summers ago, and a guy, thank you, Lisa. Jeff Cook was a heck of a guitar player, but a guy, he had his pond dug out, and we all said it wouldn't fill up, and it must have been spring fed because it filled up quick, as dry as we was. Yeah, Alabama is probably one of my favorite bands with Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner. And one of his guitars is on the bus. It had to have been the first tour bus they ever had, because it was pretty old and pretty rough. But you could walk through it. I mean, like the TV was old. Yeah, and the drummer left probably in the '90s, and the reason why he left, they said he never was a full time member of Alabama. I don't know why. I saw some pictures on Facebook back when they used to play at the Bowery in North Carolina, and he was with them. So I don't know why he was never considered a member. I like Waylon Jennings myself, Hank Williams Jr. Now there is a little bit of Hank Williams Jr. and Hank Williams in the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, but they need to update a lot of stuff. Jamie Johnson, he's from Enterprise, Alabama. All they had of him was a cardboard cutout. See, I never, back when I was a kid, they had them June jams. Man, I would have loved to have went to one. I never had the opportunity. I think they had them when I was in high school. I just never did go. Same thing with the Charlie Daniels volunteer jams. I would have loved to have went to some of them. And I can probably get on YouTube and find some. But Good music's a thing of the past. Yeah, when I was in high school in the 90s, I didn't, that's what I listened to was the old stuff. Everybody thought I was a little crazy. I had a old Mustang. It run pretty good and a loud radio. Don Williams has got, he's a good one too. So it was a money thing with the drummer with Randy or what? So they say that we're halfway between Muscle Shoals and Music Row in Nashville. I'm 45 minutes from Muscle Shoals, about an hour and a half from downtown Nashville. I'd rather go to Muscle Shoals, but there's a lot of history down there. Florence, Alabama, 30 minutes from here, is they have the W.C. Handy. He's supposed to be the father of the blues. He's from Florence, Alabama. Percy Sledge is from down there. But Nashville, as far as I think it's went way too commercial. 38 Special, yes sir. I've seen Clint Black, Tracy Lawrence live. Tracy Lawrence's Alibi tour, and Clint Black is whenever he married right after he married Lisa Hartman, and she didn't like him wearing a cowboy hat. So that was the first tour he done without a cowboy hat, and uh, so everybody was hollering between songs, "Put your cowboy hat on." He finally come out with one. I think it was the first date of the tour, and he said, "I'll wear my cowboy hat from now on." Brooks and Dunn, I saw them, but one of the best shows I ever seen was a couple years ago. I took my wife to the Grand Ole Opry, and some of the new music I'm into is Jamie Johnson, and he played. He played there. They get two songs at the Opry. Ricky Skaggs, "Hello Logan." Hadn't heard from you in a while. Anyways, Ricky Skaggs gave Jamie one of his songs. He got to do three, and he done the last one with Whispering Bill Anderson. And there was some there that I knew who they was, and after seeing them live, I was a fan. Class of '82, I was 6. I seen Diamond Rio at her county fair back when I was in high school. Chris Stapleton, I like him. I was class of '95. Man, y'all old. Y'all old. I'm just aggravating y'all. Y'all grew up in the time though, in the '70s. That's when I would have liked to have been a teenager. Me and Nelson just messed out. I never seen Alabama, and I probably won't get to now. I always said I wanted to go see the Allman Brothers, and I did get to see Greg Allman a year or two before he died, and it was a good show. It was a good show. But the when I seen Greg Allman, which it's about all concerts outside, seemed like somebody run over a bunch of skunks out there. Its air smelled a little funny. Scott's 79. Oh, it was pitiful. Every time you go to outdoor concerts, it smells like a bunch of skunks around. Skunks and cedar trees. Does anybody remember KDF, Nashville station in Nashville, rock station? That was the station in the 70s, 80s, and part of the 90s. Part of the 90s. They shut down in 99, I think. I think it was actually New Year's. No, I won't say New Year's Eve 99, but it wasn't, because I know where I was at. Terry remembers it. How old are you, Terry? Scott, I actually thought you was probably about graduated in 69. I'm sorry, you must live a pretty rough life. I'm just messing with you, Scott. I gotta pick on you. Terry, you graduated the year I was born. I got kids, they play Xbox and they fight and they play with other people and scream. Hey, I still listen to 80s, 90s hair band. Matter of fact, I got XM Radio and Hair Nation is one of them. Classic Rewind is another one I listen to. I do listen to the 80s. And I got a couple of country I listen to too. Can you get parts for them Olivers? I've got a friend that's a hobby farmer. He likes Olivers. And he's got Oliver corn picker. I got a kid sneaking around back here. I think Mr. Tom Harrington has everybody beat, because I think he said he grew up in Fayetteville and has been gone for 60 years. So, but he left, I think. All right, you're gonna break the chair. Quit! You're gonna break the chair. And I don't know. Seemed like he told me one time how old he was. Well, we went down to 30. We do have 25 thumbs up. Been in at 38 minutes. We've got either, which one we got there? We got Emmy, or who we got? Double G and L. I need to check on y'all. I hadn't watched none of y'all's videos in a long time. I hadn't really been watching anybody's videos much. Just everything's been too busy. Whenever I was probably 10 years old, I think it come out before then. We got I got the first Nintendo. I didn't play it much. I wasn't a video gamer. Nobody knows what a payphone is now. Logan, you know what a payphone is? That's right, bicycles. Seen all the rock bands and country bands. I've met some over the hill singers before. Well, hello, Mr. Wayne. How's things been going out y'all's way? Phone cards. What about the pagers? I never had a pager. When I was a teenager, late or mid 90s, cell phones, people had them, but they were real expensive. And there was a guy, he'd ride the strip and he'd have that phone up to his ear. Come find out it wasn't even hooked up nothing. He was a poser. He'd ride around that phone up in his ear. Then I remember Boss Hogg, he just had no rotary in that Cadillac. Yep. Long distance calls. I'm reading comments. And we need to get that 656 put back together. Don't like much. I've said this before, but that tractor was built for a cotton picker that mounts on the top, and instead of a torque amplifier, it's got a forward reverse, and you would actually sit on top of the cotton picker and drive it. I don't know how the steering was hooked up. Bag phone and semi. Nobody talks on CBs no more. I can't remember when phone calls was done. There was always a quarter, I think, my day. I know a guy, he said he used to ride around and he'd go to all the payphones and stop up the change thing in the afternoons, and he said he'd go back the next night and it'd be full of coins. I've got one in our semi. Some of the local granary, they want you on channel 13 when you pull on scales. That way you can talk to them. And the one in Alabama, I think it may be 13 as well. But you talk to them on CBs. But you put it on 19 now, and it's a bunch of crap. It's I don't know what's happened to it. We've been getting a lot of rain. We got about 7-8 inches of snow last week. I've got a few people that I know that when I meet them on the road, I'll holler at them. But there's still a few old truckers that like to talk. I mean, I don't have a handle or anything. That had a loader on it when I was a kid. I barely remember it. Well, I don't know why, there's Dollar Generals everywhere. They just built another one 2 miles down the road. I hadn't been in it yet. I like the one 7 miles up the road because I know where things at. And I usually go north instead of south anyways. But I can find everything. Yeah, that's what ticks me off about these Dollar Generals. You go to one, you can't find nothing. Then about every 2 years, the one you go to, they decide to rearrange everything. You can't find anything. That's the same way with the grinders up here. I don't know if I want a loader for it. Yeah, there's some guy, what is it, window licker. You're just a window licker. Constantly on channel 19. Studebaker truck, okay. I've had just a little bit in some videos about Studebakers. My great grandpa bought a 51 business coupe brand new, and my dad has it. And he drove it to college in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hey, buddy Justin, you should have been at the shop today. We had a heck of a project going on. But anyways, it's set in my dad's basement. I'm 47. It's set for about 42, 45 years, and it's getting a frame off restoration right now. And I think the guy's getting ready to paint it. They come out with a flathead 6, and we did find we've actually got 2 up at the shop. I'm trying to get Dad to move them somewhere, and anyway, we found 3 V8s. He's got a V8 put in it, possibly automatic transmission. Yeah, you can't even get on 19 anymore. I hauled load off the other day, and I thought, well, I'll turn CB on, and I didn't even get out of the driveway. I just cut it off. It was a big bunch of mess. I'll just it was one of them projects me and you used to get into, some welding projects. But got a boy that used to help his son when he was a teenager. He's a welder by trade, and he helped me on it. 706 is put together. It's the 656 that we're putting together. Let's see what. Got behind you. Well, it comes in handy. I mean, if you're driving, in town, you need to, know what's going on. Yeah, I've got 2 old trucks I wished I still had back. My first truck was a 84 Chevy long bed. I found a short bed. A local junkyard cut my bed down. I had a short bed. I had it painted. I had some 10-inch bullet holes on it. Not a boom system, but I had 10-inch speakers behind the Pioneer EQ, everything. I've never drove a 2+2. I'd like to have one. I think they're neat, especially the I guess they're the 88s. Those 4 duals on them, or duals all the way around. Those are some mean looking tractors. Dad still wants. I mean, I don't know what we would do with it. It would. I will be there probably mid morning, the 15th. I'll be there all day the 16th, more than likely. And then I had a an 07. Justin helped me on this truck a little bit. I had a 79 4-wheel drive frame, granny low, and a 84 cab bed and front cap. The cab was 84. The rest of it was I'll shoot you my number, Mike. Parts from the junkyard, and I made a pretty nice looking truck out of it. It just needed engine rebuilt, front end rebuilt, front brakes rebuilt. It was a good looking truck, but it was going to be more money than I wanted to put into it, and I sold it. That'd be nice and have back. An international truck. My dad still listens to the local country AM radio, and they play some pretty cool stuff, but it's the same crap all the time. I mean, you listen to it there too, it's pretty cool, but then it gets where it's just crap. How you like that 6.5 diesel? Yep, that would have been a nice one too, 78 Ford. 78, 79, I think, is one of the prettiest trucks ever. Probably in Chevrolet and Ford, probably 67, through 79 on the Ford, probably 67. We'll go back 65 through 87 after that. But I'm a Dodge man. A friend of mine growing up, his dad had a Power Wagon, and he was a Dodge man. And last time I saw the truck, it was sitting with a bunch of other old cars at his dad's house. I asked him the other day if his dad still had it, and he said he'd sold it. He said he'd offered it to him. He said he didn't have time to mess with it. He sold it and a 440 engine and a transmission and something else for $400. I wished I'd known about that. Well, you're welcome. I've 74 Mercury Comet. I've kind of been looking for some old cars, and I kind of looked at some Mavericks. Three on the tree, a lot of people don't know what that is. Sold some Chevelles for $800. In and out. Well, 52 minutes. I'll tell a story. I think I've told this before. I wrecked my first car, totaled it when I was 3 years old. My mom had a big two-tone green LTD. It was a land barge. She hated it. Well, my mom, me, and my sister, I was 3. I was youngest. We carried my dad and grandpa lunch to the field. And we come back, and Mama told my sisters to get me out of the car. They didn't. We lived up on a hill. I cranked it up, knocked it out of gear, and went rolling down the hill and perfectly centered an oak tree. And 44 years ago, I remember it like it happened yesterday. Truck was going backwards, glass Coke bottles, they was rolling backwards. Saw my mom run out, and all I could think of is how bad of a whipping I was gonna get. Well, the car hit the tree. I flung back in the back seat. My mama opened up the door. I kind of ran from her, and she grabbed me and hugged me and was crying. And she ended up getting, this would have been 79, so I think it's 77 or 78. Two-door Malibu, rally wheels, black vinyl top. So those wasn't the coolest cars, but I guess for that time it was. Like I said, I've been looking for an old truck or old car that... Paul's here. Got your sermon ready for tomorrow? Well, I've been looking for an old truck or old car, carbureted. I miss the gas fumes. Gas fumes and just the idle and loud pipes. I miss all that. He's ready to go. I don't know how many times they're gonna walk through here.
I'll just get Mom's headphones.
And as soon as I said, he's gotta walk through here. Well, 11 miles gallon ain't too bad. Dad bought a new 2500 Chevrolet. He got it in 22. It's got 6.6 gas V8 in it, and he says he gets 15, but he's lucky if he gets 11, to be honest with you. Suzette Bartlett. Okay, I don't. So we're getting there close to the hour mark. And they're showing up. They're showing up. The trolls are showing up. but we done a pretty good run without them. 55 minutes. I try to keep it to an hour. Be looking forward to it, Paul. I need to check up on you anyways. See how things are out there. I was telling that story. I missed a lot of them comments. See you, Nelson. I live in Southern Middle. Good job. I remember when me and you first met, it was what, 96? 96 subs? So I don't think of 94 as being restored. They just don't seem like that old. You don't say restored 94. Maybe painted in a new interior. I'm just joking. Paul's been with me me and Paul have been together for a long time. Almost 57 minutes. Yeah, 94 wasn't that long ago. Like I said, I graduated in 95. That was just 7 years ago. I still feel young in my mind. I've grown out a beard and it's pretty gray. Also growing out my hair what little I got. Time for a change. Which it feels like I got a little something up here. Thanks, Craig. I think we're fixing to shut it down. Well, we're talking about all this music, what they played when I was in high school. I listened to classic rock in high school. Now what I listen to, or now what was it popular back when I was in high school is classic rock. See you, Brett. I still ain't never took that picture of that tractor. Well, maybe. My dad's 80, almost 81. My grandpa lived to be 97, so maybe I'm only at the halfway mark. All right, we're gonna call it a day. We'll see on the next one. We may do it next Saturday, we may not. I don't know. Have to see what's going on. I enjoyed it.